This was a terrible idea. Why am I eating yogurt while I vlog? Hey guys, it's Viv. Hello. It feels like it's been like a decade since I last vlogged. And today we're in my bedroom. I am so tired. And I feel like that's all I ever say in vlogs now. Recently I've been very busy with many things. Can you believe that it's been like 2 weeks since I actually posted a current vlog? But basically, I don't know if I'm actually gonna play this, I just like holding it. 2 weeks ago I posted a video of when me and some friends from Cordley went boating on the lake. And that was super cute. Oh, that was so long ago, and that video had just basically been sitting on my computer unedited for a long time. And then the refugee video project rolled around and I thought, oh, I don't have enough time or the energy to record a new vlog. So I just finished editing it and then posted that as the vlog. So if you haven't seen that, go and check it out because I think it's hilarious. And then the week after that, so last week, I think I posted it on Thursday, the actual refugee video. It's not like the highest quality video that I could have produced, I don't think. Well, it's like, I'm happy with the way it turned out, but I wish there were some things that could have changed. And I think that's not weird. Like, everyone does that with things that they've created, right? Yeah. Lots of people have been sharing it on Facebook, which is really cool. And we showed it at this like church refugee meeting. And it went down quite well. People were like, this is an impressive project, so congratulations. Yeah, there were some things that I wish I could have gone back and changed, but I needed to have had it done by last Monday. So I sat on Sunday like editing like crazy. I might go back and re-edit some of it, but it took 4 hours to render that video. So probably not. There are many opportunities currently for me to make more videos on that topic, so that's probably what's gonna happen. That's that. This guitar has been borrowed from the school because there is like a Vinax Bazaar, which is like a Christmas it's not a concert, it's just like a Christmas event, and there's loads of different activities going on. Like there's a big band at the school, there's like people who play instruments, do music and stuff, and then they heard that I was a singer because there's an occupational therapist there who's like a musician, kind of. He can play loads of instruments, and I don't think he sings. And I told him that I'm a singer, and then he was like, oh, maybe we can do some stuff with the students, because I told him that I was like the leader of Cordley at home. And I accidentally signed up to sing and play the guitar at this event. So that's terrifying. And I borrowed this guitar. It's a classic guitar, so it's kind of hard for me to play, but it feels good to, because I didn't bring my actual guitar. Like if you scroll back, actually it's not on this channel, never mind. Maybe I'll put a clip in if I can get the video.
What you doing?
I left my proper sized blue guitar in Corby. No, in Nottingham. I didn't bring it with me, I just bought the small one that I bought off my very dear friend Eunice, who moved back to Korea. And that's a nice guitar, but it's not like a proper guitar like this one. I don't know. Can you say that it's not a proper guitar? If it has strings and it plays the same chords, does that mean it's a guitar? Anyway, before I get all philosophical on you, crap, I should have prepared. So this past weekend, I went to Braunschweig to visit Lewis, and we had a nice catch-up session, nice gossip session, and then I went to Hamburg again to visit my Canadian friend, and it rained, so we were like, let's just watch telly. So I showed him Black Mirror, and if you haven't seen Black Mirror, watch it. It's the most intense thing I've ever seen, and I recommend it to everyone. I'm not even gonna say anymore. I have some questions here. Let me sit a bit forward so it's like I'm talking to the camera. So Matty has some questions here, and I'll try and remember questions from other people as well, because I know that Rachel had a few questions. Discuss your top 5 favourite films. I feel like that could be a video in and of itself. I don't want these videos to be too long. Maybe this video will be unusually long because I haven't vlogged in a long time. I should have prepared. I don't think I have any like favourite films. When I think of films, I'm like, hey, that's a good film. You should watch that film. But I don't really have like favourites. My attention span is not that good, and I prefer watching TV series where you can like watch it in episodes but there's like a bigger story. That was a terrible answer. I'm so sorry, Matty. I'll make a video about films and TV series. How does that sound? What's your favourite time of year and why? My favourite time of the year is summer. Like, the word I would use to describe myself is tropical, which is really odd because I grew up in Britain, I grew up in England, and you know, the weather in England is not warm. I'm not gonna say it's not great because maybe some people like the rain, you know? I love it when it's really warm. Sometimes people are like 14 degrees Celsius, oh that's quite warm, and I'm like, that's freezing. That's terribly, terribly cold, fine sir. But at the same time I like wearing like jumpers, cozy knitwear kind of thing, and you can't really have both. Any other time of the year I'm like, I have like 5 layers on. You know, I don't wake up in the morning, I'm like, what should I wear today? Because no one's gonna see it, because I'm always like wrapped up in like freaking, I might as well just go out in my duvet and just hold it around me for the whole day. That being said, I also do really like autumn because it's very scenic. But I wouldn't say it's my favourite time of year. My favourite time of year is definitely summer because there's more sunlight, I feel more motivated, feel happier. Like, I think it has to do with the temperature as well as the light levels. In the winter months and the autumn months, you know, when it gets dark really early, I'm like, man, sad. How scared are you about the robot uprising? I don't know, it doesn't really cross my mind very often. Technology is a pretty crazy thing, but I dig it, like I'm really into technology. I think a robot uprising is one of those things where you're not really gonna know how you feel about it till it happens, because it's so surreal. That's definitely like a Black Mirror thing. What's your favourite game? Video game and also non-video game. So my favourite video game, oh man. Like 6 years ago I started playing World of Warcraft. And I've never found an MMO that was as addictive as World of Warcraft. The only downside to it is that you have to pay money to play it, and it's a lot of money. And nowadays the game, like I never played it so seriously, so I'm not gonna rant on about, like I feel like I'm not in a position where I can rant on about the content of the game and stuff, because I feel like I'm not a legit player. That's stupid to say. Like the thing is, I love playing video games, but I'm not very good at them. So yeah, I guess my favourite video game in terms of the storyline is Assassin's Creed. Oh man. The story is so good. The fact that there's like 2 stories going on at the same time, so there's like the story that's in the present day and also the story that's like in the past. It's very good. And I love the puzzles. Oh, I love that game. Oh, my favourite non-video game right now is this. I don't know if it counts as a non-video game. You can play it without a console. Picross, and it's basically a puzzle game where you have a grid and there's numbered guidelines, and you have to like fill in the black squares and it makes a picture. That's really addictive. I got super into it like 6 months ago, and I would stay up till like 3 AM because there's an app for everything now, and I'd stay up till like 3 AM like doing all these puzzles, and then I finished the whole game, like all the puzzles on this one game. And then I was like, I'm never gonna find another app that's as good as the one that I just finished. So I stopped playing it for a while, and then recently I got back into it, and I deleted the app and then re-downloaded it so that it all would reset. And now I'm just doing it all again. Yeah. What are you most excited for this year? Hard to say right now on camera to the rest of the world. The most exciting thing is like being in the middle of Europe with, you know, like I have the easiest job in the world. Literally the easiest job. I just go to school and I just and I'm just like, hey, I speak English, and you know, English is my mother tongue. Pay me. You know, even if you don't study a language, if you want to learn a language, I would definitely recommend this like teaching position because it's the easiest thing in the world. So that's all of Mattie's questions. She wants me to talk about how learning German has affected my mindset. This is probably gonna be like 3 videos. I started learning German when I was 11, just about to turn 12. And in secondary school they just assigned classes to different languages, and I just got German. And I'd never thought about learning another language until then. Like, I was 11, I wanted to be a pop star, you know? My teacher was super fun, so he made all the lessons really fun. He had all these like fun songs and stuff to do. He was super supportive. He was just the best teacher that anyone could like ever ask for. So I really enjoyed my German lessons in school. And he was walking around the class helping the students, as teachers do. And he said to somebody on the other side of the room, why is it in English that we say we chop a tree down and then we chop it up again? And I was like, whoa, man. I classified that moment as like the moment when I knew I was interested in linguistics and languages. That's why I carried on doing German. From the A-level on is when I decided that because I didn't know what I wanted to do, I would just pick things that I enjoyed in the hopes that it would lead me to something that I enjoy, if that makes sense. And then I went on to uni to study German and English because I was like, I enjoy linguistics, I don't know, I'll just pick linguistics, right? Up until this point, I was like pretty cozy in my life in England. I'm quite an open-minded person anyway, but I've never been a studious person, so I always kind of put more emphasis on my extracurricular stuff, so like a cappella. I was like always, green light is go, you know? I was always like, let's do this in a cappella, let's do that. If I get a bad grade, I don't really care. I like what I learn in the seminars. I hate doing like homework and essays and stuff, and it keeps my life on track. This is the longest answer to the question ever. So being at uni kind of kept this direction in my life and opened up a lot of opportunities, because uni is like a pretty crazy place, you know? You can do many things. And then I moved abroad to Germany to actually do my year abroad, and here I am. And my whole view on life has changed. So I've met a lot of people from all over the world, you know, like I have friends who are from Canada, and I've never before met anyone who was from Canada. I met a couple of people who are from New Zealand, but I don't really talk to them. Like, I just met them at the conference, and I was like, hey. You know, I've met people from Germany. I've met the refugees from Syria and like Saudi Arabia and stuff. Like, before I moved to Germany, I was like, I'm pretty cozy in my life in England. Like, I'll come back, finish my studies, maybe stay in Nottingham, get a job. And now I'm like, I want to go places. Like, right now I sound like one of those like reborn hippies, like, oh my god, I want to like travel the world and meet new people, you know? But that's how it is. And I find that really interesting because like I totally just changed. Basically the short answer is I have always been pretty open-minded towards other people from other walks of life, people with different beliefs and stuff. You know, if you don't agree with what I think, then sure. It's interesting to hear other people's points of view, especially when they don't agree with me, because then it's like, hey, you're so right. Because I've always been open-minded, I think that's why I probably enjoyed learning a new language and learning about a new culture. But then also that fueled me to be more open-minded. So it was kind of like some kind of symbiosis. I don't even know if I use that word correctly. Learning German has definitely impacted my outlook on life, but because I started so early, it's always been normal for me, so I don't really know how to give like a short answer to the question, as you may have noticed. I talked a lot today. I will probably be vlogging normally for the next 2, maybe 3 weeks, and then who knows what's gonna happen. So my camera just did that weird like crash thing, and yeah, so I don't know where the last point of the video is, but basically I'm just gonna do the outro again. Bye. Like, I don't have an outro. Please send me topics to talk about so I can talk about them next week. That would be fabuloso. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Bye.